Excel isn't about numbers. It's about making your work faster and smarter. In this tutorial, I'll show you how lookup formulas can do exactly that. So we have ID, name, score, sections, and we have IDs separately, where we will be applying the VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, index match, and so on. So before that, I want to let you know about the cells referencing. So we have a concept of referencing cells, with the help of which we will be preparing our formulas. So if you have A1, it means that rows and columns both will be dynamic, and if you have $sign into that, it means they will be fixed. So when you will be moving one cell, you will be copying the formula from one cell to another. So the referencing of columns and rows will be moving. So let's try with an example. So if you have here A2, which is ID. So here the cell reference is A2. If you move it down, the cell referencing will be moved. And if you move it to the right, again the cell referencing will be moved. If you see with an example, here it is B2 and then it is C2. So in the similar way, it will be keep going on. Now let's move to the second concept, which is fixing the rows and columns. So to fix it, we apply the $signature and then we drag it to the right, and similarly we drag it to the downwards. And if you see here, everything is fixed, means the rows and columns both are fixed in each and every cell in which we have copied the formula. So now let's move to the third option, which is fixed row. Here we will be applying the $sign on the 1, which is after 1, A, which is A1. So if you see here, we apply the formula with equal and we apply the $sign on 3 by referencing A3, and it is done by using F4 button in your laptop. So if you drag down, again you see the rows are fixed, but we have not fixed the column. If you drag to the right, you see here the columns are dynamic, they are moving to the right, but when we drag down, they are fixed. So this is the concept of referencing and fixing the rows. Now let's move to the fourth one, which is fixing the column. To fix the column, we have to apply $signature on the first alphabet, which is here A. So if you see here, we are referencing A3 and we will be applying the $signature to A by pressing the F4 button multiple times into our laptop. So if you drag it to the right, you see here columns are fixed, but as you know that rows are not fixed. So if you drag down the formula, rows will be dynamic, they will be moving in the formula. So this concept we will be using into our formula, which is VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP and everything. So it is very important, so I just thought of explaining it to you. I hope you would have been clear about this concept. VLOOKUP is used to find out the similar value from a different table. So here, if you are just having a set of rows, the data, you will be able to either manually look it or using this VLOOKUP formula. So to apply this formula, you type VLOOKUP and under that you will be having different options. So first of all, you will get the option to click on the value which you want to check, or the lookup value we call it. Then you have to apply the comma button, and then you have to provide the set of data from which you want to apply this search, which is lookup. Then after comma, you have to mention the column number which you want to be inserted into this cell. So I am putting 2 here, I just want name to be inserted. Then after comma, put 0. Actually, we just want to mention the exact match or the partial match. So we put 0 for the exact match. Then I have to close the bracket and then you will be getting the option and drag down the formula. So you see here, for certain cells we have the data, but certain others we don't have. The reason being, we have not fixed the range of the table from which we are looking up the data. So we have to fix it. So for that purpose, I just told you the referencing concept. So we will be applying the dollar signature into the table range, which is starting from A3 till A13. So we will be pressing the F4 key from your laptop, and then it will be fixed. The range will be fixed. So now if you will again drag down the formula, you will see all the data will be available, but we see the error values. It means that these IDs are not available in the lookup table. To remove the errors, we apply if error formula at the beginning of any of the formula. Here we will be applying if error at the starting of VLOOKUP, and at the end of the formula, which is VLOOKUP, we will be applying comma and then put NA, means that we want to see NA instead of a error message. So we will be dragging down the formula and we see the NAs are replacing the error messages. Now again we will be moving forward, and then we will see how XLOOKUP works. So XLOOKUP will be a second option to look at find the values which we want to see. So here we will be applying XLOOKUP, and first of all, again in the similar way, we will be putting the lookup value which we want to give, which is F3, which we want to search, and then after this we will be giving the lookup column which we want to see. Here it is not starting from B, but it is starting from A. So we will give the range of A, and again, as we know that we have to fix this range, so after fixing the range, we will be applying the comma, and then what range we want to see as an answer. So here we want 2 columns as the answers, so we will be selecting all these 2 columns, and then we will be applying the comma, and after the comma, if some error are coming, so what we want to see, we will be put NA instead of that. So we will see these 2 columns are getting filled up with this XLOOKUP, or at the same time we will again drag down the formula and we will see all the values are filled up and we are getting NA instead of a error message. Now let's come to the index. So index provides us the value and we give the position of that value. We give the row number and the column number here. So suppose as an example, we are just taking a range which is B column, and after providing the range, we provide maybe as an example 1 first row and first column. So we provided the position, so it will provide us Mohit, because the range we selected, it is having Mohit as a first row and first column. Each and every place will be filled up with Mohit here. So we understood the concept of indexing, what it does. So in the indexing, we have to provide a range of the table, range of the data which we want to see, and then we have a row position and then the column position. Now we are just replacing the row position with match formula, which will make it dynamic. So in the match formula, we have to first provide the lookup value which we want to search. After providing the lookup value, we have to give a range from that we want to look up that value. So range of the table we already know. We have a second table from where we have to match that lookup value. Then we will be providing the range of ID, which is in the A column, and then after providing the range, we have to fix it, as we know that without fixing we will be suffering from the error message. Then after fixing it, we have to provide 0, which represents the exact match, and then make sure to provide a bracket after you put the 0. After the bracket, you just put the enter and your formula is complete. Now drag down the formula and you will get matching names against the IDs. Still we see the errors. So the errors are because these IDs are not available in the lookup table. So to remove the errors, we will apply if error formula before the index match. So we will apply if error at the beginning of the index match formula, and at the end, after applying the comma, we will put the value what we want. Like here we want NA, and it should be in inverted commas. Now drag down the formula again and you get the value without the error. In index and match formula, there is one benefit that it doesn't matter that in the lookup table whether the position of your lookup column is in the beginning or at the end. In the index formula, first we provide the range of the data in the lookup table which is having the answer. Then in the match formula, first we provide the lookup value, and then from the lookup table the range of the data from which we want to find that lookup value. If you see here, we provide the range of the data. So it doesn't matter whether the position of the lookup value is in the beginning of the table or at the end. In the VLOOKUP formula, the first column should contain the lookup value in the lookup table, which we are providing the range. So we should provide the range in such a way. This is the difference between index match and VLOOKUP formula. Now in the index match formula, let's see how we can apply the dynamic range in the column as well. So as of now, we have provided the match formula in the row. Now we will be providing the match formula in the column, as you can see the highlighted one. So in the index formula, as you know that first of all we provide the range which is having the answer in the lookup table. So we select the range. Keep this in mind. It is simple. Provide the range where we have the answer in the lookup table. After providing the range, we move forward to provide the match formula, which is where we provide the lookup value and the lookup table. So I have copied the formula from the previous column which we prepared already. Now let's replace this one which represents the column with the match formula. So we apply the match formula, and first of all we have to provide the matching value which you want to look up. So this time it will be column. So we have provided L2 and keep 2, which is the row, fixed, because we don't want row to be moved downwards when we will dragging down the formula. Then provide the range from where you just want to look up that in the lookup table. So we provide the range which is from B2 to C2 and keep it again fixed, because when we will be dragging down the formula it will change otherwise. So then we provide the 0, and now we have the formula. When you drag it right, we don't see the value, we see the error. The reason for that is in the index, the range we provided in the index, it is not having the score column, the value of the score column, because here we are just making the column as well dynamic. So in the index we have to provide the C column range as well, because first of all we provide the answer where we have the answer in the lookup table. So you have to keep in mind. So we have B3 and we have B13 as well. So now replace B13 with C13. That will increase the range of the answer. So now you see we are replacing the range. We have provided range of the answer from B3 to C13. And now if we will drag it right, so we will see the answer. Now drag the formula to the downwards, copy it downwards, we see the value, and again we see the error in the places where IDs are not matching in the lookup table. So to remove it, we provide the if error formula, we already know that, and at the end of the index match we provide after comma NA or whatever you just want to see a replacement of the error. And now you are having the formula, you are having everything correct, values are correct now. Now with a fresh start, let's see how index and match works, and we use match in rows and columns both to make it dynamic. So first of all, let's write it down, and keep in mind we have to provide exact naming in the columns, because now we are making the columns as well dynamic. So we have to make the exact naming of the columns. We are copying it from the lookup table, and after copying it, let's use the formula with a fresh start. Now we will be applying the equal sign and start the index formula. So first of all, we provide the index, and then we provide the range where we have the answer, which is very important to remember. Fix the range, and then after the comma, we apply a match to make the rows dynamic. First of all, we provide the lookup value where we what we want to see, and make the column fixed here, and then provide the lookup range where the row answer will be available. Fix the range and then provide the 0, and then close the match formula. Then after the comma, we are just for now taking 1 in the row to see whether our formula is working. Now replace that one with again match formula to make it dynamic. First of all, we provide match formula, and then we provide the value which we want to look. This time we want to make the column dynamic. So provide the column value and fix the row, because we don't want rows to be moved down when we will be copying the formula. Then provide the range of the column which we want to search in the formula, and fix that range, and then close the bracket. And now we are just seeing, we are able to see the formula is working, and we are getting the errors where the IDs are not matching in the lookup table. This time we want to replace error with blanks. Your growth is my mission. More practical industry ready tutorials are coming soon. Stay connected, share and subscribe, and let's make learning impactful together.